That freaking sucks. It didn't record, so now I have to do it all over again. All right, let's go. Hey everyone, my name is Shirley and I started tutoring business with barely any money. I teach English to adult immigrants. I also do preparation for GED and other life-changing skills. I also do private sessions one-on-one with students of all ages on all subjects. So why I started the business? I started the business because I wanted something that was my own. I also wanted something that was flexible. I knew that I was going to go into nursing school and it would be hard for me to find some type of employment to keep me through those months that I'm in nursing school, and it was going to be a big commitment. And I tried looking at other employers to be flexible, and each time I tried to mention that I was going to be in nursing school or I was embarking on this future, each time I got a no. You know, they would not be too pleased about that. So the tutoring business, it was just something that was going to be flexible, and then also utilizing the natural skills that I have. You know, I love being in a classroom. I love helping others. I love being of a service and just teaching and learning new things. So it was just a great combination of flexibility, my natural skills, and also to help me to achieve my own goals. So I didn't have money to invest, but I had time, experience, and drive. How I started with almost nothing. I had no budget, no fancy ads, no fancy office or whichever. I literally just started with creating flyers and my business cards through Canva free. I created a business email using a Gmail, which was free. And then I downloaded Google Voice onto my phone, and that was a free just to have a business phone number for people to call, because I didn't want to give out my personal number. So I had that, those three things to start. And then where I hold the class, so I spoke to a pastor and he was excited about the whole thing. So I host the classes at a church. However, I did speak to a library. The library does have conference rooms for people that are doing tutoring sessions to rent for the community, and it's very low and inexpensive. It's per hour. The only one of the requirements they have is that you make sure you have insurance when you use that. So that's one thing I am going to do eventually, is go into the library and hold these class sessions. But right now it's been working out pretty well. I'm at the church, started with basically no money, and then as I gained students, I would reinvest that back. So my first students was someone that I knew. I made sure to undercharge and over delivered. And once I did that, word of mouth started to spread, referrals started coming in, and then just giving those referral discounts, that's when the word of mouth and more students started to call me and inquire about the classes and wanting to sign up. Also, my family, just letting all my family know what I'm doing, what I'm embarking on, and they were a great help with knowing a coworker or someone that they ran into or someone that they know, and then they would pass out my business card or so forth. Going to community events like May 18 Haitian Flag Day, I was there. So that was another way. Also going into businesses like restaurants that cater to that audience, or even grocery stores and markets. I made sure to speak to a manager or the owner and then ask to put my business cards or my flyer here. This is a service for the community. If I could just leave this with you, or if I could put it here, or a brochure, and that always worked well. I've actually had a few people call me because they saw one of my flyers. So what I did to grow was I waited to see how many people I could get to sign up for the class. Once I saw that there was a good amount of people wanting to sign up, I made sure to start an orientation. You know, the day of the orientation is when I'm discussing everything about the class that I'm offering. Each student gets a folder, and I personalize the folder with just putting a little sticker on it. And with the folder, it has a welcome letter, the supplies that they will need and what they can expect within the class, a little vocabulary sheet that I created that we'll be using a lot during the class, and as well as an agreement. I believe that agreement is very important when doing these tutoring services, because it just makes sure it outlines what you're offering and what they're offering, and it's just something to protect you. So I also have an agreement that each one signs, and then I got a little receipt book just to keep track of receipts for them and then for myself. The next part was the lesson plans. At first I was creating lesson plans on my own, but it was very tedious and it took a lot of time. And then I found a free service online where I could print lesson plans. Well, a few of them were free, but then eventually I had to pay the membership, but the membership was very inexpensive. It was only $30. And with that, I was able to print a lot of lesson plans, organize a binder, had them organized in my binder, and then from there, I would create quizzes and exams, make sure I had an answer key, make sure I covered everything, and that's how I went from there. So TEFLA Handbook was a great resource for me to get lesson plans to teach English adult learners. So what I did to grow was I treated it like a real business, even though we were small, you know, and then word of mouth is the best way. So that's why I made sure when I did the classes, I made sure I was giving them quality. And that was the distinguishing, just having that professional look. I even purchased a shirt, made the shirts, which was very inexpensive. It just gave me more of that professional look, and every time I go tutor, I make sure I have this shirt on. I feel like it differentiates me, it makes me look more professional. They take me seriously, they know that this is, you know, and that this is something that's organized and a lot of thought behind it. Just gave me that edge. And then of course I had my family help me. My husband comes, you know, and helps with the class, my brother, and then even my cousin. Whenever I need their help, they're always there to help me. And they also have a friend that also comes and it helps. So what I didn't spend money on, I didn't spend money on ads, I didn't spend money on branding or a fancy office space. That I didn't have the money for that. I used what I had. So I had a laptop, a printer, my passion, which was free, and online resources, doing the research and just putting things together and just making sure it was organized, right? Planning everything out, and then I just learn as I go, and then I just build from there. And then any feedback I get, I listen to the feedback, and then I process it as well. Some feedback is good, some feedback is like, okay, thank you. So some of the challenges I faced was that sometimes people didn't come. So they would call my phone, they would be excited about signing up. I will tell them, you know, this is where we meet, this is the address, these are the days we have the class, you know, and so forth. And then they wouldn't come, they wouldn't follow through. So sometimes it's that price point, but I have to tell them the value that I give them, you know, and I tell them my background, and I try to sell to them. I let them know, and I explain to them, you come into this tutoring business, all of your life goals that you're trying to achieve, we will be there to help you. So for example, you know, one of the first classes I started was English class. So English was the first thing I started. So I said, listen, you know, come and enroll to our English classes. Once you know enough English, the next one of the things I was looking to do is at a computer class, get you more tech savvy. And then of course now we do offer GED class, right? So once you want that GED class, you can come in, do the GED, get your GED, achieve well, do well, and then I'm also a private tutor. So if you need help with any of your homework assignments, if you decide to go to college, I'm here, I'm a one-stop shop. So whatever goals that you have me, I'm available, and I go hard for my students. Anyone that becomes one of my students, I have their back, right? So, and I'm someone that is patient, I am someone that's available with the classes. I have a group chat where everyone can reach out to me on WhatsApp. We have a little group chat, and I'm here for you guys, you know? So that's the value that I try to explain. So with the classes, it's one way. With the classes, they have a monthly fee that they pay. And then with the private tutoring session, that's what I'm trying to grow as well, because there's more money in that. With the private tutoring is per hour, and they normally just pay after the session, or they could just pay like weekly, just depends. But that is the two methods that I have. Where I'm at right now is I currently offer English class. And then I also have GED class. The GED class right now is currently growing, and I'm super excited about that. And that's been my focus, is trying to grow the GED class. I did kind of relax on doing the English class because there's just been things going on with this administration. And then I know it's pricey. It's just a hard price point for some of them because I know everything is expensive right now. So what I've done is I did apply to become a nonprofit organization. However, it does take some time. And once that is approved, then I can go ahead and start marketing that English class, and I'm sure we'll have people filled up because I'll be able to offer it very low or inexpensive at that point. But so I've been trying to grow the GED class currently right now. This next school year, I'm definitely going to be hard trying to market. Another thing too is I'm also testing out doing tutoring online. So this upcoming week on Saturday, I am going to be giving my first online GED course, so I'm excited about that. I'll be doing that through Google Meet, and that's another inexpensive free resource I can use to provide that class. Also, another thing too that I'm doing now is I launched a YouTube channel to share my journey. You don't need a lot of money to start. You can start with what you have. If you're thinking about starting your own tutoring business or any business, let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you'd like to see how I keep growing from ground up.